Hey everybody, and welcome to BingeBot. Today we're counting down our top 10 favorite games of 2025. For this list, we've taken into account a few factors like overall popularity, game sales, and critical reception, but with that considered, this list is purely subjective. It's our opinion through and through. We've excluded remakes and remasters, so games like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4 and Oblivion Remastered are out, mostly to make room for newer, more unique games. As always, we love to hear your thoughts, so be sure to shout out your favorite game of the year in the comments and let us know what you thought of our picks. With that, let's dive right into our list, starting with number 10, Battlefield 6. The Battlefield franchise hasn't had the best track record over the past decade or so, but after quite a few stinkers, the series made an appropriately epic return with Battlefield 6. Stripping away the gimmicks and getting back to the basics, this military FPS puts players in the heart of battle with realistic loadouts, highly destructive environments, plenty of vehicles to drive, and a whole lot of explosive action. Though the campaign was admittedly mediocre, the real meat of any good Battlefield game is in the online multiplayer, and here, Battlefield 6 absolutely delivers. Between its standout competitive multiplayer and the free-to-play Battle Royale RedSec mode, there is more than enough variety to get lost in as you and your squad team up for just one more match. The level editor, dubbed Battlefield Portal, makes a return, and in addition to making your own maps, you can now create custom game modes, and so much more. After many years of Call of Duty and other futuristic franchises dominating the genre, it's nice to see Battlefield back on top in all of its bombastic glory. Number 9, Ghost of Yotei. Developer Sucker Punch Productions are true masters of the action genre, having created such timeless titles as Sly Cooper and Infamous. Following up their previous game, Ghost of Tsushima, comes Ghost of Yotei, another beautifully crafted open-world samurai adventure set in centuries past Japan. This time, we play as Atsu, a mercenary with a tragic past who watched her family get slaughtered as a young child before setting out on her own. Now, 16 years later, her taste for revenge is overflowing, and she makes it her mission to eliminate the cruel Yotei 6 responsible for her family's demise. Though similar to its predecessor, containing all the flashy, responsive swordplay that you'd expect, Ghost of Yotei introduced several fresh gameplay mechanics, including firearm weapons, friendly wolf companions in battle, and an open-ended mission structure that puts you in control of the story's pacing. Simply put, Ghost of Yotei is a satisfying and expansive, yet finely tuned open-world adventure, and a highlight in the PlayStation 5 library. Number 8, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The first Kingdom Come Deliverance game was a hugely ambitious medieval-era RPG set in 1403, but to be blunt, it fumbled in quite a few places. The sequel, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, fixes most of the issues of its predecessor while continuing to expand its scope and offer a realistic portrayal of the Middle Ages as seen through the eyes of protagonist Henry. Once your average village commoner, Henry has been through the ringer, and he now serves as a loyal soldier in the fight against King Sigismund of Luxembourg, hoping for his chance to fell the usurper as revenge for slaying his family. In almost every way, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is bigger and better than the first game, with refined combat, better stealth mechanics, an explorable map that's twice the size, countless quests, and a boatload of customization for the player to discover. Opting to refine its many systems rather than reinvent them, developer Warhorse Studios truly found their groove with this sequel, delivering the epic experience that they promised with the first game, but of higher quality than anyone could have thought possible. Number 7, Hades 2. The original Hades game has gone down in gaming history as one of the best roguelites ever made, so when a sequel was announced, many thought it would be pretty much impossible to improve upon the first. Always up for a challenge though, developer Supergiant Games defied expectations by creating a sequel that's not just as good as the first game, but somehow even better. Again, pulling inspiration from Greek mythology, the game follows Melinoe, daughter of Hades and sister of Zagreus, as she embarks on her own quest to the underworld of Tartarus in order to slay the Titan Kronos. Like in the first game, you engage in fast-paced isometric combat, earning upgrades from Greek gods and passive boons with each run until you're strong enough to see the battle through to the end. Though Hades 2 opts for the philosophy of more is better and introduces not only new weapons, abilities, and bosses, but also additional pathways, a more layered story, and several new upgrade systems. Gorgeous in its animation, challenging, addictive, and just tons of fun to play, Hades 2 sets a new gold standard for action roguelites moving forward. Number 6. Arc Raiders. It seems like every year there's a multiplayer game that grips the gaming world by the horns and commands attention unlike anything else, and in 2025, that game was Arc Raiders. Developed by Embark Studios, this third-person extraction shooter is set in the year 2180, years after an otherworldly race of robotic invaders laid siege to our planet, forcing survivors underground. Playing as a raider from the settlement of Speranza, you set out on risky expeditions to the surface in search of resources, hoping to evade anything hostile, whether that be the extraterrestrial machines that still plague the Earth, or fellow raiders looking to loot your corpse. A fully online experience, you never know what a run of Arc Raiders is going to bring, as player discovery and cooperation with others play a huge part in your success. Or you can be a true ruffian of the apocalypse, choosing to betray your teammates and others, scalping up their resources, and escaping back to Speranza with pockets bursting. This cycle of scavenging, crafting, and braving the surface is both intense and wholly addictive, where no run ever feels the same. In its first few months online, Arc Raiders has made a lasting impact, and hopefully it'll continue to thrive where other live service games stumble. Number 5. Blueprints. The modern roguelite genre is new enough that we're still seeing some truly inventive genre hybrids to this day, and of them all, Blueprint stands out as one of the most unique by far. In this first-person puzzle roguelite, you play as Simon, a young man who inherits his great-uncle's mysterious mansion, but to claim it as his own, he must locate the ultra-hidden 46th room in the otherwise 45-room large estate. The only problem, every night, the mansion's rooms shift around, making each new day's trek through its halls both familiar and completely new. Reminiscent of games like The Witness, Myst, or Return of the Obra Dinn, Blueprints is a game that stretches your imagination and your problem-solving to the absolute limit. Playing this game with a notebook open and jotting down your observations as you go is basically a requirement, as this seemingly quaint game quickly sprawls out in countless directions, leaving you with very few hints on how to progress forward. Incredibly witty in its puzzle design, whimsical, and at times kind of unsettling, Blueprints is a game that's unlike anything else in the roguelite genre. If you're the kind of person who loves a good riddle, or you consider yourself a eagle-eyed sleuth, Blueprints will probably be one of the most rewarding games you've played in a very long time. Number 4. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Resurrecting one of their oldest franchises and finally taking the series to proper 3D, Nintendo really outdid themselves with Donkey Kong Bonanza, one of the very best games on the brand new Nintendo Switch 2. In this modern take on the classic series, Donkey Kong travels to the rich Ingot Isle with promises of gold, but discovers a sinister plot, and together with sidekick Pauline, looks to save the planet from the evil Void Kong. Created by the same development team that brought us Super Mario Odyssey, Bonanza feels like a spiritual successor in more ways than one, with its open, sandboxy levels, various power-ups, abundance of banana gems to collect, and an undeniably colorful and upbeat atmosphere. However, Bonanza takes things a step further, featuring super destructible environments, allowing Donkey Kong to smash his way through most every level in pursuit of secret passages, and much more. Where some games impress with a thought-provoking story, fresh gameplay mechanics, or robust online features, Donkey Kong Bonanza flies past its competition on fun factor alone. Sure, the game is beautiful, the music is great, and the level design is top-notch, but it's so unbelievably fun that it kind of justifies buying a Nintendo Switch 2 just to play it, which is kind of ridiculous when you really think about it. Number 3. Split Fiction. When it comes to two-player co-op games, few do it better than Haze Light Studios. Split Fiction, like their previous games A Way Out and It Takes Two, is so dedicated to that co-op experience that you can't even play it solo, unless you're like really good at playing with two controllers at once. In this sci-fi fantasy game, you play as either Mio or Zoe, two authors who are invited to a publishing company to test out a new device. But unbeknownst to them, the device is designed to steal the stories from within their minds, and when it malfunctions, Mio and Zoe are trapped in their own worlds, but together. Jumping back and forth between Mio's sci-fi and Zoe's fantasy stories, they must bridge the gap and cooperate if they want to escape alive. Like It Takes Two, Split Fiction is a hard game to tag a genre on, as it constantly shifts the gameplay experience from moment to moment, leaving it hard to predict what'll come up next. Though you spend plenty of time platforming around the 3D world, you'll also engage in bullet hell-style twin-stick shooting, snowboarding and gliding segments, rhythm game sections, a top-down RPG, and much more. Throughout, the theme of cooperation is at the forefront, both in story and gameplay, as you'll need to rely on your partner every step of the way. Great for all types of gamers, no matter age or skill, Split Fiction is an all-time co-op classic. Number 2. Hollow Knight Silksong. It took them almost 8 years, but by God, Team Cherry did it, and somehow, they didn't even drop the ball. Hollow Knight Silksong is indeed the long-awaited sequel to the hugely popular 2017 indie platformer, Hollow Knight. This time, we play as the ultra-agile Hornet, who is captured and whisked away to the crumbling insect kingdom of Farloom, and once freed, her only goal is to ascend to the High Cathedral and uncover the truth of her imprisonment. Easier said than done, though, as Silksong is crushingly difficult, with a renewed challenge in both platforming and combat. Though it's far more punishing than the first game, Silksong makes up for it by granting the player better movement and many more options in combat, like multiple weapons, craftable traps, and numerous brand new upgrades. It's very, very fun to play, with tons of secrets scattered throughout to keep completionists searching, but it's the artistry of all of it that makes Silksong so endearing. Dozens of bosses, over 200 unique enemies, and nearly 30 explorable areas are all beautifully animated and steeped in gloomy atmosphere, so much so that sometimes it's just a treat to sit around and appreciate the vibes. You might want to throw your controller against the wall sometimes and it'll test your gaming skill harder than most Souls-likes, but still, Hollow Knight Silksong is a treasure, and it definitely lived up to the hype. Number 1. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Every so often, in combat and the wild stories that they weave. This year, developer Sandfall Interactive hit it big with their debut game, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a turn-based RPG that ticks all the boxes, resulting in a thoroughly awesome and fantastical adventure. In the game, you play as the eponymous Expedition 33, the sacrificial heroes that, like the dozens of expeditions before them, set out to save the day. Facing certain death, they head out into the unknown to face down the Paintress, an otherworldly being who, every year, erases everybody in the world of an ever younger age. Using this unique premise as a launching point, Expedition 33 thrusts players into a world of constant mystery and surprise, where massive supernatural creatures and dangerous environments test their every step. For as grand as it is in its narrative, Expedition 33 is just as fun to play, with an excellent cast of party members, each with their signature strategy for players to discover in combat. There are countless memorable bosses, shocking plot twists, beautiful scenery, super good music, and emotional, down-to-earth characters that you come to care for more and more with each passing hour. With an abundance of secrets and endgame quests, there's also plenty of game to enjoy, with more quality content than most of its big-budget peers. Best of all, it's one of the most accessible RPGs of the modern era, stripped of any needlessly confusing game systems, in favor of an experience that even the newest of genre fans can enjoy. If you're diving headfirst into RPGs for the first time, play Expedition 33. If you want an emotional, thought-provoking story with well-written characters, play Expedition 33. If you want to destroy enemies with super overpowered builds and just feel like a god while you're doing so, also play Expedition 33. Hell, if you just want a really, really good game that will stick with you for a really long time, play Expedition 33, as it's our clear winner for the best video game of 2025.